Good afternoon and welcome to Legal Learning. My name is Margaret Kosick. I'm an attorney with the Economic Advocacy and Community Health Unit, as well as the Senior Law Unit at Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida. Today, I'm going to talk about legal issues that are particularly relevant to open enrollment for the health insurance marketplace. So what is the health insurance marketplace? Under the Affordable Care Act, each state is required to create an exchange, which is essentially a healthcare supermarket where people can shop for health insurance. Federal subsidies are available through the exchanges to lower the cost of coverage. States can opt out and allow the federally facilitated marketplace to step in. The federally facilitated marketplace is officially called the Health Insurance Marketplace and is run through an online platform at healthcare.gov. Florida has opted out of creating its own exchange and uses the health insurance marketplace. Open enrollment for 2022 coverage began November 1st and runs through January 15th, 2022. However, if you want coverage to begin in January, you have to enroll prior to December 15th. You can enroll if you're a U.S. citizen or a lawfully present immigrant. You can apply online at healthcare.gov or call the Marketplace call center. Another option is to find a local enrollment assister by clicking Find Local Help. Enrollment assisters are required to be neutral and are different from agents and brokers who work for a specific health insurance company. A lot of what I'm going to talk about today is determined automatically through the marketplace application, but it's important to know ahead of time so that you know what you're supposed to enter into the application and so that you know if it's done correctly. Premium tax credits are given to some consumers to lower the cost of their monthly insurance premiums. Advanced premium tax credits are given directly to the insurance company ahead of time in order to reduce the consumer's monthly premium. In order to be eligible for premium tax credits, you have to enroll in one of the qualified health plans available through the marketplace. You also have to have eligible tax filing status and agree to file 2022 taxes. This can be confusing for some people who have non-taxable income like Social Security. Even if you're not required to file taxes, you still have to file taxes to get the premium tax credits. You can't have other minimum essential coverage. In other words, you're not eligible for tax credits if you've been offered Medicaid, Medicare, or job-based insurance. Generally, you have to have income between 100% and 400% of the federal poverty level. There have been some recent changes that we're going to discuss now. So there are increased savings under the American Rescue Plan for 21 and 2022. The subsidies are available to higher income people as long as their premiums are over 8.5% of the overall household income. Anyone with income between 100 and 150% of the poverty level can get a plan with zero monthly premium and can also receive the lowest out-of-pocket costs. For 2021, the subsidies with the zero premium and the low costs were available to anyone who received unemployment benefits. Although this was not extended to 2022 coverage yet, I'll talk a little later about some legislation that may extend it to 2025. Here's the federal poverty level chart to give you a better idea. So if you're single, your household income needs to be at least $12,880 for 2022 to qualify for tax credits. If your income is below $19,320, you're eligible for that premium-free plan. If you're married and have 2 children, so you're in a household of 4, your household income would need to be at least $26,500. If your income is below $39,750, you're eligible for that premium-free plan. So in order to figure out the federal poverty level, you need to consider the household size and household income. In order to do that, you need to know what a household is. A household does not necessarily include everyone living together, nor does it necessarily exclude a family member who's living somewhere else. A marketplace household generally includes the tax filer, the tax filer's spouse, and tax dependents. If the consumer is married, they must file jointly with their spouse in order to qualify for subsidies. There are some exceptions for head of household, victims of domestic abuse, and abandoned spouses. You may have heard people refer to the metal tier plans: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The higher the quality of metal, the higher the premium, but also the lower the patient responsibility. So while a bronze plan may have the most affordable monthly premium, it's going to have the highest out-of-pocket costs since the patient responsibility is 40%. A platinum plan may have the most expensive monthly premiums, but it has the lowest out-of-pocket costs since the patient responsibility is only 10%. In addition to premium tax credits, there's another federal subsidy called cost-sharing reductions. Cost-sharing reductions are given to some consumers to help lower their out-of-pocket costs. So that means lower copays, coinsurance, deductibles, and out-of-pocket maximums. Anyone is eligible for cost-sharing reductions if their income is up to 250% of the poverty level. Keep in mind that you have to purchase a silver plan in order to get these cost-sharing reductions. The best way to get an idea of what premiums and out-of-pocket costs may be prior to enrolling is to use the Plans and Prices tool on healthcare.gov. You do not have to create an application or enter in any personally identifying information. It just helps you get a rough idea. I entered in the information for Carol. She's a 42-year-old single woman with a 15-year-old boy, Marcus, who's already enrolled in Medicaid. Their projected household income is $20,600 for 2022. Carol is eligible for advanced premium tax credits of $438 a month with cost-sharing reductions if she purchases a silver plan. Here are a couple of the options. There are a lot more than this, but I just wanted to highlight the lowest silver plan has a 0 monthly premium with 0 deductible and $1,500 out-of-pocket maximum. There's no charge for primary care or generic drugs. There's $2 charge for specialists and 25% coinsurance for emergencies. So what that means is if she had a $10,000 ER bill, 25% is $2,500, but she wouldn't owe more than $1,500 since that is her out-of-pocket maximum for the year. Another option is the $6.49 premium, monthly premium with $800 deductible and $800 out-of-pocket maximum. That has a $5 primary care copay, no charge for generic drugs, $10 for specialists, and no charge for emergencies after the deductible. So in that case, if she had that $10,000 ER bill, for example, she would pay no more than $800 since that's her out-of-pocket maximum for the year. There's something called the family glitch that consumers need to be aware of. You're not eligible for marketplace subsidies if you have an offer of affordable job-based coverage, either through your own job or through your a family member's employer. A plan is considered affordable if the employee-only plan is 9.83% of projected household income for 2022. So note that the affordability test for the family member is based on the employee price, not on the family member price. So that can get kind of tricky. If a family member's plan is extremely unaffordable, it may still be considered affordable and they're not eligible for subsidies. One thing to keep in mind when you're enrolling is tax credit reconciliation. Most people opt to receive all of their premium tax credits in advance to lower the monthly premiums. The amount of advanced premium tax credit is based on an individual's projected income for the upcoming year when they apply for coverage. At tax time, individuals must reconcile the amount of advanced premium tax credits based on estimated income with the premium tax credits they're eligible for based on their actual income. So if the actual income is higher than estimated, individuals may be required to repay all or part of the advanced premium tax credits. Consumers need to be as accurate as possible when estimating income on the application to avoid having to pay back those advanced premium tax credits. Another thing to keep in mind when applying is something in the background that you don't really see called the Federal Data Services Hub. The marketplace uses the hub for verifying applicant information. It provides one connection to the common federal data sources like Social Security, IRS, and Department of Homeland Security. When information the consumer provides on the application can't be verified through the data matching, the inconsistency process is activated. If there's a data inconsistency, the eligibility notice will explain that the household needs to provide documents to verify the information they attested to on the application. Usually this is regarding household income, immigration status or citizenship, or Medicaid eligibility. Depending on the type of verification required, consumers have 90 to 95 days from the date of the eligibility notice to submit documents to resolve the inconsistency. This is one area where I see a lot of problems and may require an appeal. The notices aren't always clear and people are not sure exactly what they're supposed to provide. So if the data inconsistency is not resolved, you could lose your subsidies or your health coverage. If you disagree with the marketplace decision, you can appeal, including eligibility to purchase a plan, eligibility for tax credits or cost sharing reductions, the amount of savings you're eligible for, a reduction in the amount of savings you're eligible for, whether the marketplace made a timely determination about your eligibility, or your eligibility for a special enrollment period. All plans offered in the marketplace are required to cover the 10 essential health benefits listed here. So ambulatory patient services, emergency, hospitalization, pregnancy, mental health, prescriptions, rehabilitative services, laboratory, preventative and wellness services, chronic disease management, as well as pediatric services and vision care. If marketplace consumers claim for coverage of medical services is denied, they must file an internal appeal with their plan. You have to file the appeal within 180 days, which is 6 months of receiving the notice that your claim was denied. If you have an urgent health situation, you can ask for an external review at the same time as your internal appeal. So I want to talk a little bit about Medicaid because of its relationship with the marketplace. Medicaid is a state-federal partnership to provide free health insurance for low-income individuals. You can apply for Medicaid through the marketplace, but your application will be sent to the Department of Children and Families for a final determination. Historically, individuals have had to fit into one of these categories that you see here. So blind or disabled, over 65, parent caretaker, child, or pregnant woman. The Affordable Care Act expanded Medicaid to cover almost anyone with low income, regardless of these categories. So we currently have what is called the Medicaid coverage gap in Florida. The US Supreme Court found that states could choose not to expand Medicaid, but the Florida legislature so far has chosen not to expand. So you still have to fit into one of those traditional Medicaid categories in Florida. And anyone who does not get subsidies in the marketplace and does not qualify for Medicaid cannot get affordable health insurance in Florida. So that's why they say they're in the coverage gap. There are hospital financial assistance programs, however, where uninsured individuals with low income can get medical services for low copays. There's a special rule for immigrants. Generally, qualified immigrants are eligible for Medicaid if they also meet the categorical and income requirements. So qualified immigrants include legal permanent residents over 5 years. Also, children who are legal permanent residents are not subject to that 5-year bar. Asylees, refugees, Cuban, Haitian entrants, just to name a few. Anyone with income below 100% poverty level who's not a qualified immigrant, so is not eligible for Medicaid due to their immigration status, they are eligible for marketplace subsidies. So if you are denied Medicaid due to your immigration status, and then somebody tells you that your income is too low for marketplace subsidies, you should definitely question that decision. If you miss open enrollment, you may be eligible for a special enrollment period. If you experience one of these life events or have a complex case, so if you get married, have a baby, move out of a different coverage area, or lose health coverage, you should be eligible for a special enrollment period. I recommend following the Build Back Better Act in the news. This is proposed legislation that may make significant changes to the Affordable Care Act. It could close the Medicaid coverage gap from January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2025, allowing people with income below 100% poverty level to get marketplace subsidies. It would also extend those increased savings through the end of 2025, including allowing anyone with unemployment benefits to get subsidies regardless of income. It would also provide funding for consumer assistance programs to help consumers with complaints and appeals, assist consumers with enrollment, and resolve challenges with premium tax credits and so forth. So if you would like help with the health insurance marketplace or other healthcare access issues, please contact us. Our contact information is there on the slide and in the chat box. And thank you so much for watching.